when they say that the Bible has an answer to every question on the planet, you better believe them. In today's video, we are going to look at some of the guaranteed money-making opportunities related to the end times as described in the Bible. So personally, I believe that the Bible, even though is a religious text and sometimes may be open to interpretation, they say that scripture interprets scripture. And for that matter, once in a while, I use it as a guide for financial investment or for business decisions. So that is why today we are going to be looking at some of the end time closing remarks that Jesus shared with his disciples and how those can inform the business ideas that anybody might want to look into. So we are going to be reading two main passages. I will start with Luke chapter 17, verses 27 to 29. I welcome you to read it with me. So I will be reading from the Holy Bible, King James Version, Luke chapter 17 from verses 27 to 29 is going to form our discussion this afternoon. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. Let's quickly take a look at our next verse, which is Matthew chapter 24. And we shall be reading chapter 24 from verses 5 onwards. So this is Matthew chapter 24. We will start from verse 6. Let's start from verse 5. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these things are the beginnings of sorrow. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall arise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then the end shall come. So guys, for a lot of Christians, I included until yesterday, every time we read these two passages in Matthew 24 and Luke 17, the first thing that comes into our minds is like, oh my God, the world is coming to an end. Oh, this is what we're gonna do. We have to preach the gospel. We have to do this. And people focus, even I until yesterday, focus so much on the spiritual aspect of these verses. But one part that we forgot, and it's in Matthew chapter 24, it says, all these things shall happen until the Son of Man comes. As in, all these things that we've talked about in Matthew 24, all the ones we have talked about in Luke chapter 17, they will be eating and drinking, marrying and remarrying. It happened in the day of Noah until Noah entered the ark, on the day of Sodom and Gomorrah until Lot left Sodom and Gomorrah. So I say until yesterday because, and all credit to Pastor God's Will Mensah. He is Ghanaian and he's actually offering a week of prayer 10 days of prayer at my church, and all credit to him. He's the one actually who opened this other part of these passages to me. All my life, every time I have been reading these passages, the only message I get from them is to prepare for my spiritual. And have never looked at the entrepreneurial angle of these verses. And I cannot believe you, like I was awestruck when he was sharing with us that, have you ever considered what business opportunities could come out of these end time events? Because we are told that these end time events are going to happen until the day Jesus will come. It's not like maybe they are gonna stop 2 days to his coming, because they said that these things were happening until the day Noah entered the ark. There was people who was in a wedding somewhere. Until the day when Lot left Sodom and Gomorrah, there's somebody who was doing a business transaction. And it's going to happen the same thing when Jesus is coming back a second time. So what are the indicators of possible money-making businesses just as a result of these end time events? And that's what I'm going to look at. And I won't dig into much. I'll just be reading the different verses and the corresponding business opportunity. So it says, Luke 17 verses 27, they did eat. So when they say people are eating until the day Noah entered the ark, they ate until the day when Lot left Sodom. It means people are going to eat until the day Jesus comes back. So which business opportunity do we see here? Restaurants, eateries, yeah? So people, if you're in any of those businesses or you want to start a business, you better start a food business. People are going to be eating until the day Jesus comes. And as long as you offer quality food, and then if you can niche down, the better for you. If you want to do like African food, you want to do vegan food, or you want to do vegetarian, and you offer quality, your space is clean, you're definitely going to get customers. They drank. This again is a business opportunity for eateries and restaurants. But since I am addressing somebody who's probably Christian, you're not going to open a bar, but you could focus on healthy drinks, for example. You could open a health drinks bar, for example. You could offer, like CMOS drink, or I don't know, baobab drink, or whatever, just healthy stuff. And then number 3, they say the married wives, they were given in marriage. Anything like event centers, people are going to be getting married. Any wedding related businesses, you're going to make money because people are going to be marrying wives and giving into marriage until Jesus comes back. Then we have, they said they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. And then they say in the days of Lot, they ate, they drank, and then they bought and they sold. So anything in e-commerce, if you can convince people, if you have a persuasive tongue, if you can convince people to buy something from you, then you can be sure you have a market, because they're buying and selling, and then they're planting. Anything in the agro industry, agribusiness, people will be planting. Yeah, so if you are in the agribusiness space, people are eating, they definitely need food. So if you can provide food for people, then you are at an advantage. And here, we are not just talking about any food. So try and go into specialty foods. For example, right now, there's a very high demand for these traditional vegetables. And I was watching a certain documentary of a company in Kenya that exports dried kienyeji vegetables to kienyeji traditional vegetables to outside of Kenya. And the main challenge they were having is supply. People are not producing enough. And remember, these African vegetables are in demand, especially among the diaspora, as well as people who have probably lived in Kenya. They have medicinal properties and they're gonna be in demand. So when you are moving into agriculture, try and focus into something that you can do like a specialty business. That's where niche down. You could, for example, consider like growing hibiscus and offering hibiscus tea bags, for example. You could go into, something like beekeeping. So there's a whole lot of business ideas around agriculture. And remember, people are getting married, so they're gonna be eating at the weddings and at the different events until the day Noah enters the ark. And then verse 28 also tells us Likewise, also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. People were building until the day that Noah entered the ark. They were building until the day that Lot went out of Sodom. So, construction business. If you're in construction or you wanna go into business, consider construction. People will be building until the day Jesus comes back. Land, if you have prime land in prime areas, and remember, land is one of those resources that is not renewable. Once it's spent, it's not like trees, for example, that are regenerating. It's fixed. It's a fixed commodity, and it's shrinking day by the day because population is increasing. Real estate, yeah? People are gonna need a roof over their head until the day Jesus comes back, but I would encourage you to focus on affordable housing. And then it also talks about, so in Matthew, something else it talks about was gluttony. I don't know where I read that. There's gonna be gluttony in the end time, so that's where we have diet reforms. Like I mentioned, don't just offer food, yeah? You can look at things that are healthy but tasty, yeah? That is a niche you can give yourself because people are gonna be gluttons and they're gonna need reforms. And then there's also here, Matthew 24, it says that people will be running to and fro looking for knowledge, and knowledge is increasing. So if you are not able to provide like a physical product, you can consider knowledge products on health, for example. Remember, people are eating, people are drinking, and not all of them are drinking healthy, not all of them are eating healthy. So you can sell knowledge products, and knowledge products can be anything. Like what I'm doing right now, this is a knowledge product, because if you watch any of the advertisements that are gonna come in this video, then YouTube, for example, will pay me some money. You can do courses, online courses, you can sell ebooks, there's a whole lot of things that you can sell. And then remember, it also talks about Matthew 24, there's gonna be famine, yeah? So if there's famine, it means people won't have food. So you can consider some other agricultural related practices that don't necessarily depend on rainwater. So you can consider greenhousing, for example, because remember there's going to be famine, which means there's no food. And then it also says that there's going to be pestilences. Pestilences are basically diseases. There's going to be a lot of diseases, health again. That's why the issue of health knowledge products, healthy foods, healthy drinks space is going to be big. Knowledge products on health, I've talked about that. And then health facilities, and this you can do, especially if, let's say, you live in a city but eventually you plan to retire in the village. Build the hospitals in your villages, yeah? If you have medical cover, spend it in the hospital in your village instead of giving all your money to Nairobi Hospital and Aga Khan and these big hospitals. If you work in a corporate and there's a foundation there that supports non-profits, go, and if you have the influence, you can go and support the health facilities in your area, because there's gonna be a lot of pestilences. And I've talked about building materials. And then something else we note in Matthew 24, it says that the love of many is going to cool. Yeah, many people are going to be, many shall be offended. People are going to betray each other. People are going to be killed. They're going to be hated, especially if you're a Christian. And so many other things are going to be happening, which means there's going to be a lot of stress. With all these things happening, there's going to be a lot of stress. And that's where comedy comes in. So if you are a comedian, if you can do memes, if you can make people happy and people laugh, there's a market for you. And also, if you are into psychology and just talking to people and calming them down and stuff like that, there's also a market for you. So, well, guys, that's it for today in terms of these business ideas that are informed mostly by the end time predictions of Jesus in the Bible. Let me know in the comment section below, had you ever considered these Bible verses in this way? Thank you for staying to the end. I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.